Hey, what's up, Patreon patrons? I hope that everything's going well. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit, not in the best of shape, but I keep going. I will be doing more Gold Cup. I'll probably be doing, well, I won't be probably, I will be doing the rest of Gold Cup. I also will be doing, and I'll only tell you here at Patreon this, I'll be doing a couple of MLS games. Yeah, believe it or not, I'll be doing a couple of MLS games for Univision this week as well. So I look forward to that. Number 2 in my agenda, and I don't want to put too many things here on this particular video because that's just way too many things on your plate to be trying to absorb, is Gold Cup. Gold Cup has been what it has been. It's pretty much a tournament where the best teams have blown out the teams that maybe aren't so good. We've seen, I think, what was it? Well, yeah, 2 7-0s and a 6-0. So yeah, so those of you that like goals, well, you've gotten them. The most disappointing team, definitely Honduras. And I'm not sure how much longer Fabian Coito will be there. If his team is not performing during Nations League, safe to say that he might not be there after that. He's probably going to be given an extra lease on life because to his defense, he hasn't had much time to prepare for this tournament. Number 2, Mexico. Yeah, they're probably the best team in this tournament. Yeah, they're probably the most talented team in this tournament. Yeah, they might be even the most deep team or the deepest team in this tournament. But that doesn't mean that they aren't susceptible to certain things. They are probably a team that if you get them at the right time, if you get them when they're too comfortable, and when you get them when they're kind of lulled into a sense of security, they end up breaking down in very pressure-filled situations. And I mean pressure-filled when you pressure them coming out of the back. We saw that when Nestor Araujo started getting too pretty, and that's what ended up being the Lucas Cavallini goal. And of course with Jonathan David as well, who's been one of the sensations of this tournament. And he is also one of the leading goal scorers, him, Cavallini, and Ariel Antuna of Mexico. Antuna's the arrival, the revelation of this tournament, without a doubt. And David is right behind him. It would be nice to see these two teams face off again in semifinals. It probably would end up being a totally different match compared to what they played just a few days ago. Yet, you see the U.S. still I'm not sold on. They played a Trinidad team that is very bad. They played against a Guyana team that is a new entry, and still they were able to not be at their clearest. But in the pretty much what I saw with the U.S., yeah, they're getting better. They're getting better. They're playing better. But were they playing better because of the opposition, or were they playing better because they're actually improving? And it might be a little bit of both. Trinidad, as I mentioned before, is not that good. And number 2, maybe, and it was interesting to hear this because the U.S.'s system is totally different to whatever they've played before in the past as a group. And you need time. You don't just start playing like Greg Berhalter wants you to in a snap of a finger. It just doesn't happen. And I think there's this unrealistic expectation amongst American fans that this is just it was going to happen. No, there's things that have to improve. There's things that have to be worked on. There's things that have to be evolving with this team in order for them to start understanding what they need to do. And I think Trinidad was the good rival to have, to better understand it, to better offer that game speed or the space and opportunities to be able to take advantage of certain movements and know who needs to conduct and who needs to run down the wings, etc., etc., etc. That's where I think that this team can evolve and get better in. Are they the best team? I don't know if they're the best team. I don't know if they're the team to beat, but they can complicate things as the tournament goes on. Now, when you have a format where it's quarterfinals and it's one match and you're done, yeah, this team could just roll along just like they could get eliminated in the first round. So it will give a bit of an interesting twist. It'll be compelling to see the U.S. be able to advance and battle on. And maybe they'll get to a final. They're a team that's good enough to get to the final. Now, what will they do against a team like Mexico or Costa Rica? That's a different story. But I think at worst, they'll get to quarters. But then at worst, doesn't mean they're fulfilling an obligation. That just means that they're getting to quarters. They're obligated to get to the final. They're obligated to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I know many here don't like to hear the word obligation, but that's the reality in CONCACAF. If you're one of the two best teams, you're obligated to win it. Now, who wins it, that's a different story. But overall, it's a tournament that, you weren't going to expect too much. You're going to expect two, the usuals, and maybe a third. And I still haven't seen the third. Maybe Canada will probably end up being that third right now. Now, can Costa Rica improve? Yeah, they could, but I haven't seen that much improvement compared from game 1 to game 2. They play Haiti. We'll see. That's a good thermometer for them to base their improvement upon. But they'll have some alternates, and I'll have probably that lineup up on Twitter in the next few minutes. Well, not next few minutes, about next few hours. But if you go, the Costa Rican press has pretty much already put out that most probable / confirmed lineup. Usually when the Costa Ricans put up their lineup, it's usually spot on, save for maybe 1 or 2 last minute changes that Gustavo Matosas might make. So we'll see what happens with this Gold Cup. I'll have a Copa America video up as well later on today, and we'll talk about that as well. And I hope that we're able to have a bit of a discussion in terms of that, and we'll keep going. I wish I could do more Women's World Cup. The thing is, I'm not really watching, not because I don't want to, I really do, but getting out of studio around midnight, going to bed around 2, and then waking up around 10 in the morning and prepping games for the next day really doesn't leave you much leeway. I mean, I have it on occasion, and I have, it's on the side, and I have something on, but I'm not paying full attention to it, so it wouldn't be right to make assertions or make any type of comments in terms of that tournament. And also, since I'm also doing some analysis and some livers and stuff for clients abroad, I have to also watch Copa America. So it really leaves me very little room to watch Women's World Cup. I'll start having translations up, and like I said, on Thursday, I'll put it up here. I'm only really going to promote it here on Patreon. I'm not going to go put it out on social media about the MLS games. Just personal preference. I'd rather have people that support me be able to know what I'm doing instead of throwing it out there in the usual. Anyway, that's another topic for another time. But anyway, guys, again, always I thank you for your support. I look to be able to offer you more content, and maybe after Gold Cup, I'll have a couple of announcements in which I will probably be doing more video, less writing, contractual things more than anything else. And I'll probably be doing more video more video blogs in this format. I'll be doing exclusive stuff for Patreon, but I'll also be doing videos over on my YouTube channel. So I want to get that a bit more activated. So we'll stay in touch in terms of that. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Man, you have no idea how good I feel when you guys put comments. It really makes me feel good, and makes me feel so happy that you guys are enjoying the content, that you guys are really having a good go with it, really enjoying what I put out there, and everything else. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you're doing for me, and I hope that I can offer the same back to you. I really do. And again, thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.